MovieWeb.com.
Really enjoyed the movie. I wanted to begin by asking you, playing twins with two different personalities, I mean, there are scenes where you're arguing with yourself. Can you talk a little bit about doing that?
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely times, especially late at night, when it felt a little schizophrenic. But ultimately, we had Fincher as the director there to kind of helm the ship a little bit. So it was a little weird at first, but then it became comfortable. There was another actor there named Josh Pence, and he and I really worked together to kind of create these twins who ultimately did have to be identical, but it was nice to have someone there, sitting in Tyler's spot, to kind of react off of and stuff like that. So it was challenging, but it was still, I mean, it was double the time spent, being directed by Fincher, which was great.
Yeah, totally. And speaking of working with Fincher, I mean, is it a lot of takes? Is it a lot of what is it like working with him?
Yeah, it is a lot of takes, and it's a lot of people ask, is it tough? Is it, oh, that's got to be so hard and all that? But you know what? It's great. It's very comforting as an actor because he's gonna shoot it until it's right, and I don't want anything at the end of the day to be on that big screen permanently if it's not right. So he's not going to say cut, print, moving on until he gets just the performance out of you that he needs to fit into his big picture. So and plus, man, I don't think that I'm going to get many opportunities to be directed by a director of that quality or caliber. So I want to soak up as much time with it as I can.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
With all the research that you did now doing the project, where do you sort of fall your own opinion on the lawsuit between the twins and Zuckerberg and sort of who was right and who was wrong and that kind of issue?
Yeah, I mean, well, during production and while we were filming, I obviously had to side with the Winklevoss twins and say, he did steal from us. Let's get that guy, But since we've wrapped production, I can be a little bit more objective. And especially after watching all the other actors in their performances, seeing the final product, seeing the humanity that they brought to each character, it's so hard now to look definitively and say they stole this or they didn't steal this or these guys are wrong. I think that you have ultimately 3 different groups of people who all can't agree on what really happened, so we don't have a shot at it. So I think it's just a bunch of kids, man. I think it's a bunch of college kids who stumbled upon a really big idea. They probably had, more money and brains than sense, and they probably all acted irresponsibly at some point.
Yeah, the film almost felt more like, rather than it just being sort of a biopic about the, creation of Facebook, it seemed almost like the anatomy of what an idea is and where an idea comes from. Is that kind of the way you saw it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Facebook, the company, is something that we're all so intimately aware of, but the sort of nebulous beginnings of it is something that personally, after I read the script, I just thought, how did I not know any of this? I mean, this is incredible. It's really an amazing story.
Yeah. Are you surprised by the success of the film? I mean, on the cover of every magazine and #1 box office, are you sort of surprised at the attention that it's gotten?
I am. Yeah, like insanely surprised. I mean, I thought that it's about Facebook, so if every 1 out of every 20 users in the United States wants to see the movie, we got a hit. That's great, but the amount of acclaim it's been getting is amazing. And just I mean, personally, I got almost nothing to do with it, so I'm happy to ride on their coattails, Fincher and Sorkin. But it makes me really happy that their talents and all the hard work is really paying off and being respected.
I thought Trent Reznor's soundtrack was awesome with the film. Did you think it added a certain element to the picture?
Yeah, oh, definitely. It set the tone for the entire thing. It's what made this movie not your father's college movie. I mean, that's what separates this thing from something like, I mean, anything. It sets such an ominous and almost dark tone through this whole thing. It's really amazing, and you'll be watching the movie and just so into it until you'll think oh, there's just background noise. Oh wait, no, that's a melody, and you've been listening to a song for a minute and you didn't even know it. That's how well it fits into the rest of it. It's Trent and Atticus did such an amazing job. I mean, it's hats off to those guys for sure.
Yeah, all the characters in the film are somewhat unlikable at points. Difficult as an actor to sort of make your character, find that likable edge for the audience when maybe they're not doing the greatest things in the world.
Yeah, and that is a little tough, but I think you sort of find that by approaching them as humans instead of you know, looking at them and going, oh, these are obviously the jocks of the movie, so we'll play them like that, you know, but instead approaching them as all people who, you know, have motivations for what they do, and depending on how you look at it, you could see it as right or wrong, but no one wakes up in the morning going, I think I'm going to be a villain today. I want to do something evil, you know? Everybody's got their reasons.
Yeah, totally. Armie, thank you so much. It was great talking to you, man.
Yeah, Jamie, it was good talking to you, man. Thank you so much.